Are you looking for a new place to call home? If so, you're not alone. The Census Bureau recently released their population estimates for 2022, and it shows some interesting population shifts. There are several states that people are fleeing in significant numbers, and there are others that are growing more quickly than they can probably handle. In this video, we're taking a look at the 10 states with the largest losses in population. Number 10, Ohio. Some news outlets have declared that people are leaving Ohio in droves. I don't know that I would characterize a population decrease of less than 1% as people leaving in droves. The definition of drove is a large number of people or things doing or undergoing the same thing. Given that the population estimates went from 11,764,342 in 2021 to 11,756,058 in 2022, that's only 8,284 people no longer living in the Buckeye State. The connotations of headlines like that make it seem like the residents hate the state and can't wait to get away, and that's not all that accurate. Some of the population decrease can be attributed to more people dying than being born because birth rates have fallen in the US. As for those who are leaving, United Van Lines says that there are two main reasons. The first one is that they are finding jobs in other states, many of which don't impose an income tax, like Texas and Tennessee. The second is for retirement. Quite a few people are leaving for states that have warmer climates. Number 9, Mississippi. Some states in the southern part of the U.S. are experiencing exponential growth, like Texas and Florida. Other states in the region, however, are having an issue with holding on to their residents, like Mississippi. State leaders and statisticians blame the younger generations for the shifting demographics. The state is seeing both internal and external migration. Some of those from the more rural areas are moving into bigger communities, like Jackson and Gulfport. However, those who have the means to do so are leaving the state entirely. A big percentage of those people are those who leave for college and don't come back home once they earn their degrees. Other reasons people cited for why they left the Magnolia State are finding better paying jobs in other areas, finding a community that more aligns with their belief systems, and looking for more culture. This led to a change in population from 2,949,586 in 2021 to 2,940,057 in 2022, for a decrease of 9,529. Number 8, Maryland. It's not just that people are leaving Maryland, it's also that no one wants to move there either. It was ranked as the 7th least popular destination to move to, according to a report from a relocation tech company called Move Buddha. For those that are migrating out of the state, there are a few factors driving that. One is that if a person wants to find better job opportunities, it's fairly common that they'll move to the largest city in their state. However, for Maryland, that would be Baltimore, and people don't want to live there anymore. It's a high-crime, high-poverty city that is losing residents on a regular basis. Another reason people are leaving Maryland is the affordability issue. One of the most affluent regions in the country is the area surrounding Washington, D.C. in Maryland and Virginia. What you see in areas of great wealth is that the cost of living gets driven up, and regular people have a harder time affording housing and other necessary expenses. According to Redfin, the average sales price for a home is above the national average at $378,800. If you can't afford to buy, you rent, but Foothold Technology ranks Maryland as the 8th most expensive state for rental properties, which helps to explain the population dropping from 6,174,610 to 6,164,660 for a decrease of 9,950 residents. Number 7, West Virginia. West Virginia is known for a few things: a beautiful landscape and mountains, a John Denver song, poverty, coal mining, and sadly in recent years, an opioid epidemic. The state has also become known for people leaving. There has even been a term coined to describe the exodus of people from the state: the Hillbilly Highway. Between 2021 and 2022, the Mountain State lost 10,370 residents, going from a population of 1,785,526 to 1,775,156. Part of the problem is a lack of decent jobs. Only 53.2% of the population over the age of 16 participates in the workforce. The state has sought to fix that issue by bringing in remote workers with their Ascend West Virginia program that pays people to relocate there. This is actually something I've considered doing myself because West Virginia has a low cost of living. I'll leave a link in the description. The other piece to the population loss puzzle is a natural population decline. Approximately 12,000 more people died than were born. However, there were 2,200 more people who moved into the state than moved out of it, so it looks like some of the changes West Virginia has implemented are starting to attract new residents. Number 6, Oregon. For the first time in 30 years, Oregon's population decreased. This was one of the more popular destinations to move to. With its coastline and mountains, there was something for just about everyone, but that trend seems to have come to an end. According to an economist at the Oregon Office of Economic Analysis, the state usually has more deaths than births in any given year, so they have depended on net migration to fill their state. But in 2022, they saw a large number of people leaving. His theory is that it's due to housing costs being unaffordable. Portland in particular is very expensive. I made a video about it previously, so I'll link that in the description if you want to see it. A large number of people are crossing over to Idaho, where the cost of living isn't quite as high yet. Overall, the population in the Beaver State dropped by 16,164, going from 4,256,301 to 4,240,137. Number 5. Louisiana. To say that the Pelican State has some issues would be an understatement. U.S. News & World Report ranked Louisiana as the worst state in the nation, thanks to their rankings in several different categories. They list the state as having the most crime. Wallet Hub also ranks Louisiana as the most dangerous state. However, World Population Review was a little bit nicer and ranked them as the second most dangerous state due to their homicide rate and bullying incident rate. The state also has a high poverty rate, high unemployment rate, and low educational attainment rate, just to name a few of the problems facing residents. Then add in the hurricanes and other natural disasters that hit the state, and it's no wonder why people are leaving. Louisiana went from 4,627,098 down to 4,590,241, which is a decrease of 36,857 residents. Number 4. Pennsylvania. According to Move Buddha, for every 83 moves in, there were 100 moves out of the Keystone State. And out of those moving out, 1 in 5 headed to Florida. Part of why so many people are moving to the Sunshine State is that Pennsylvania has one of the largest elderly populations in the country. Older people tend to seek out warmer weather, and Florida is a popular destination for them. On top of that, when a state has a large percentage of elderly people, deaths tend to outpace births, which is what we're seeing in Pennsylvania. It's estimated that there were 56,000 more deaths than births. Something else that has impacted the state is immigration trends. The U.S. had approximately 1 million new immigrants arrive during the past year, but only 27,000 of them ended up in Pennsylvania. After everything was tallied up, it came out to a decrease of 40,051 residents for the state. They went from 13,012,059 to 12,972,008. Number 3. Illinois. My home state of Illinois has been on a losing streak for a while now. There are quite a few reasons for why people might want to leave, but they usually vary depending on which part of the state they reside. Illinois is a long state, so it's really like 3 different entities in one. There's Chicagoland, Farmland, and Southern Illinois. For people who live in the Chicagoland area, they tend to leave either because the cost of living is too high or for better weather. The state of Illinois has the second highest real estate tax in the country, but that's an average. Each county sets its own rate, and the northern counties tend to assess a much higher rate than the rest of the state, making homeownership a burden. Chicago also has an insanely high sales tax rate of 10.25%, thanks to a combination of city, county, state, and various transportation taxes, so that adds to the bottom line. Throw in blizzards and the lake effect, and most Chicagoans dread the winter months and want to go someplace warmer. For those in the farmland regions, they complain about the taxes, even though they only pay a fraction of what the northern folks do. When they're not threatening to leave over taxes, then it's the politics. They don't like that Chicago has such a large say in policy, but that's how it goes when 3/4 of the state's population live in or around the Windy City. Then there's the southern third of the state, and it's more like Kentucky than Chicago, with high poverty rates and a lack of opportunities. People down there leave to find better jobs or due to the politics of the state. Overall, the land of Lincoln saw a decrease of 104,437, going from 12,686,469 to 12,582,032, with most of the people leaving heading down to Texas and Florida. Number 2. California. When people can't afford to put a roof over their heads in one location, they tend to move to another one, which is what's happening in California. According to Rent.com, the average apartment in Los Angeles runs between $2,262 and $5,095 per month. That's more than a lot of people earn, so it's not affordable, and that's why they have over 161,000 homeless people in the state. California also has high income and property taxes, which make it hard to survive. Other reasons people give for moving out of the Golden State include an increase in crime, pollution, and a disagreement over state politics. Between 2021 and 2022, the population decreased by 113,649 from 39,142,991 to 39,029,342 residents. Some of the more popular places Californians are moving to include Texas, Florida, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and Georgia. Number 1. New York. If you happen to be rich, New York can be a great place to live. You have the Big Apple with every kind of entertainment imaginable, but you also have quaint little New England towns and medium-sized cities from which to choose. If you're an average person, though, living in New York might be too expensive. Since the beginning of the pandemic, home prices have increased by more than 30% in upstate New York, according to the Times-Union, with the average home valued at $363,990. If you're more of a city dweller and want to buy a place in NYC, Redfin says it's going to cost around $795,000, which is why some people have left. Huge increases in the cost of living have made some people decide to go where their dollar stretches a bit more so that they have a chance at the American dream. For those living outside of the city, the number one reason cited for leaving is taxes, according to an organization called Empire Center, with 36.7% of the respondents they surveyed giving that answer. Others have left for warmer climates. Another reason cited, at least by those leaving New York City, is that they're just tired of being in a crowded place. Living through a pandemic can have that effect. In addition to the 10 states on this list, there were also population declines in Massachusetts, Hawaii, New Jersey, Michigan, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Kansas, and Alaska. To put these changes into perspective, between 2010 and 2020, there were only 3 states that saw a decrease in population: Mississippi, Illinois, and West Virginia. My theory is that the pandemic changed things for a lot of people who are now taking stock of their lives and figuring out where they really want to be. If you have a different theory, drop it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit the thumbs up and consider becoming a subscriber or member to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the cornfield.